I'm Michael Wright. I am a veteran. I served during the Vietnam era, and I spent 6 months in Vietnam. I was drafted, and I know a few men understand now what that means, but they sent me a card and said, report, and or else the sheriffs will come and put you in Leavenworth for 18 months. It was, but this was a strange time in American history whenever you think about the war that we were engaging in. And we were always told that it was going to be over by Christmas. It was never over by Christmas. So I went through basic at Fort Polk, Louisiana. After basic, I had my best friend from basic talk me into going airborne. I had no intent of jumping out of an airplane, but he had a good reason. He said, look, this war is going to be over in a couple of weeks. Now, if we go airborne, that's a 3-week thing. By the time we get out of there, the war will be over, and we'll have some nice, easy job here in the States. Well, that didn't quite work out. Both of us went to an AIT training session as combat engineers, and as soon as we got out of there, we had orders for Vietnam. We landed in Vietnam, and it's hard to explain that experience because it's like stepping out of a air-conditioned house into a commode that hadn't been flushed. The temperature was over 100 degrees. The humidity was 100, and above that, the smell was that of an outhouse. But they separated us off into, at that time I was a sergeant. I had gone through NCO trainings, and so I got some kind of preferred nice treatment compared to the other guys. But a man from the 173rd came, and he said, I want to talk to anybody that has airborne training. So there we go. We go talk to him and said, I'm going to make you a deal you can't refuse. Now, the only way you can get into the 173rd is to volunteer. So if you volunteer for the 173rd, we will see to it that at the end of your 2-year service time, you will be out. You will not have to serve wouldn't have to serve any more of your 6-year constitutional time. Caisson was a big thing at the time, and there were a lot of activity going on. The CIA picked up a lot of activity in the area, and they were thinking that they were planning something big. The commanding officer of the 101st Airborne was very, he wanted real bad to have an military airborne drop. And this would make him look so good. So what he wanted to do was drop a brigade behind the lines at Caisson and then break the siege that way. Well, being in the 173rd, we are the first people to go in. And at that time, we were under the command of the 101st. My job as a combat engineer was to clear out an area for this airdrop. So we were dropped first. We were working with chainsaws and various other things to clear this area out nice and neat, so when they made the jump, they'd have a good place to land. The only problem is this is up in the mountains and air currents are really bad. And when the brigade planes started coming in, winds were carrying everybody everywhere. And a lot of boys got stuck up in trees. And by that time, the North Vietnamese knew that we were there, so they came to see what was going on. Here you got a bunch of people stuck up in a tree, and they do what soldiers do to the enemy. We rushed out to try to save who we could, and in the process of me running out through the woods, I saw a soldier caught in a tree, and right below him was a North Vietnamese officer, and he was in the process of probably going to kill this guy. I yelled at him. He turned around and I shot him. I carried a shotgun at that time as a combat engineer. It was a more convenient weapon to carry. It was lighter and had some nice features. This person that was in the tree should never have been there. He was a major. He had this desire to get a combat badge. All the time he'd been in the military, he had not been in combat because he was a communications officer. And this was his chance to get that combat badge as he was going up for lieutenant colonel. But anyway, we got back to the landing site and helicopters came in to take us out. And he asked me if I would want to fly in his helicopter. I said, I want to talk to you. And what he said, would you like to get out of here? I said, well, duh. Yes, maybe so. And he said, I am going to become lieutenant colonel, and I will be the commanding officer of the 2nd Battalion at Germany for the 7th Signal Brigade. And if you want to, I'll take you with me. And I said, yeah. So we got on a flight and we went to Germany. And I have to admit that my time in Germany was some of the best times I ever had in my life. I hate to think that I was serving my nation, having so much fun. But in fact, I was having so much fun, I took what is called a European out. I did not go home directly. I spent another 15 months in Germany. And so the military was good for me. I was a terribly shy kid before that. After that, that helped me open up a lot better. I'm a whole lot better person than I was before. I was very proud to serve my country. I am proud of the people that I served with, and some of the best people in this country are now in our service